Okay. All right. Happy Halloween.
Happy
from
Halloween.
Hawaii's real estate team. I'm live with Jody Tonga and Mahe Kahale. Couple of things to get out of the way. And I want everyone to comment on this.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Here we
God.
go.
First,
Uh-huh.
Jody is in costume. I'm in costume. And this is how
This
Mahe
is just how I
dresses.
dress.
And
This
this
is me
is
on a
just how
Tuesday.
I know everyone thinks Mahe's dressed as a
I should
Top
have worn my
Gun.
normal aviators that I always wear too.
And you wear weird glasses.
Yeah.
There's also colors on it, so it could be like war zombie.
Yeah. There we go. Here it is. But normally this is just how I dress. So
Well, yeah, the war zombie makes
Yeah.
sense.
no makeup, war zombie.
You do put a lot of face paint on any day of the week too.
I have no makeup on today at all.
Well, that's one. Did you think Mahe was in costume first?
And that's more importantly.
And more importantly, but see, a lot of our viewers mainland.
So
they're
what? That's not the point. Just ask the
Do you-
question so you can be gonged in the comments.
Yeah.
gone. Okay, look. Put this towards the camera.
Wait,
Would
your-
you guys
your own
know?
face.
Would you guys know who that is for Halloween? This has nothing to do with real estate. Would you know who that is for Halloween? And I'm gonna pause. Comment before and after.
Wait, can you see the palette though? Okay.
Would you know who that is for Halloween?
And that is a painting
No,
palette.
don't go describing.
I feel like they know already.
This-
Okay, hold on.
Would you know who that is for Halloween?
If
For-
you needed
that's
to be clearer on the thing that I might access.
Kenj.
Yes. Better.
No, but you got to switch the angle, the camera angle. Would you know who that is for Halloween? That's the first.
Heck
So
yes.
comment before, before we move on, and then secondly, does everyone know who Bob Ross is?
Yes.
Or am I the only one who doesn't know who Bob
Everyone
Ross is?
knows.
No one's gonna know who that is.
Everyone knows, Derek.
No one knows.
Every single person that we have asked,
Two.
every three people, thank you very much. One of them who is only like 22 years old, and even he knew.
Aiden from our team does
Joey,
not count.
my daughter knew, and we don't watch that in the
'cause
house.
She's your daughter.
So what?
She's her mama's girl.
And what?
And Aiden doesn't count as a 22-year-old. You know that.
True. He is an old age.
It's
Aiden-
like 45.
Aiden's
Yeah, he's
older
like
than all
mid-40s,
of
I
us.
feel like, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
He's still
So-
around though. So.
Back to real estate and all the things. What we're gonna talk about? Oh, new construction. So there's a new development that isn't released. People don't really know much about it. Kaulu and Ewa. We're also PCS season. So let's start with that. I'm starting to get more and more PCS calls, PCS referrals.
Yep.
We're in these military network groups. There's a person selling his home, a Coast Guard person who's going to be selling their home that they moved out of because PCS season's coming up. It coincides with their PCS 13 years ago. So all of this PCS action's happening because a couple of things, especially for the Army. They tend to have the heaviest winter PCS season, but also everyone who's going to be PCSing in the summer. Now is when they've like put in their dream sheet. They're like, oh, I want to put Hawaii and then California and then San Diego and North Carolina. And they're waiting to hear back. And depending on their priority, the priority ones, at least this is how it goes in the Coast Guard. Priority ones are going to hear back first, and then the twos and the threes the detailer is going to call them. So if you're preparing for that PCS season or you're just preparing for a summer move, reach out to us. Go to coreteamhawaii.com. Top right corner ends up sending us an email, or you can scroll to the very bottom and just fill out this form. My assistant, if you're live here, my assistant is on standby. They'll ask you 10 questions and connect you to Mahe and I.
Oh my gosh. How long has it
what?
been since I've gone live? Because I've never seen the laptop connected to
there?
this,
Oh,
this TV before.
It's been a minute because your vacations.
Yeah.
And
I was like,
but,
you're not going to show them that thing? I'm like, I didn't realize it was on the wall. Oh my God.
you're usually trailing behind me.
Oh my God. You got a little pepper over here. Wait, for real.
Nobody could see that. You just wanted to out me.
No, I want to get it off your face
Nobody
now.
could see that. You
Just like
want to
nobody
out
knows
me.
who Bob Ross is, kid.
Nobody
I'm trying to
does.
help you out.
Are you guys on the lending side seeing a lot more PCS stuff
Yep.
as well?
Yep.
It's just that's how it kind of goes going into the winter.
Mhm.
Yeah. Fall is a slower season for many reasons. Relocation third into fourth quarter is the slowest time for relocation, slowest time for shuffling. Even if you're not relocating to and from Hawaii, just like moving from Mililani to Ewa or Ewa closer to town or whatever, all of that stuff tends to happen in the spring and summer more so. And yeah, have you heard anything about the Kaulu, the new
No.
gentry?
Mm-mm.
So in Ewa, well, it's more Kapolei, but it's on the old Barbers Point
Is it
base.
zip code wise?
Oh,
Kapolei?
It's like near Barbers Point Elementary kind. Like
so it's 96707. Or
yeah,
6.
yeah, 7.
Oh,
Okay.
So
Yeah. So it's Kalaeloa, but the old barbers. If you grew up here,
yeah,
Barbers Point Naval Air Station.
Okay,
You've been
okay.
seeing stuff over there, yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
and they're gonna start releasing as soon as next month, or they're gonna start selling as soon as next
Oh.
month, and they're intending for some builds to be finished by the end of the year. So in December, there's like townhome, condo, townhome. We don't in Hawaii. Just for real estate clarification, in Hawaii, condos are these tall things with stacks or a stack. Townhomes, even if it's 2 or 3 levels and there's 6 of them, whatever, that's a townhome. Even if you have to walk up to the second floor to get to yours, the real estate technical definition is townhome. Now, people coming from the mainland, they're like, townhome is like when you have a garage and you walk like 2 stories in your home. That's like the mainland running, what's the word I'm looking for? Like definition that you use, like
Yeah, that's like the vernacular they use for that.
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
Terminology.
The working terminology or whatever. But anyways, those. So there's those, and then there's single family homes like North Park, T-Bridge kind of situation. So condominium single family homes is the definition that they published. But what that means is just a bunch of single families, almost guaranteed an association fee to keep like a common clubhouse or whatever, and maybe probably cluster mailboxes and guest parkings and things like that. So these smaller entry level single family homes, and there's some affordable housing units. So for our local people, there are going to be some affordable units. You can make up to, I believe it's 1.5 times the median family income. Now,
Yep.
1.5.
Yep.
Now it's not. People think affordable homes are like, okay, so like
So gonna be
2002
cheap.
prices. Then
Right.
no, they're cheaper than regular, but not super super cheap. So, anyways, reach out to
What
us.
do you
If
think the HOA dues are gonna be?
those
If I had to guess,
communities,
maybe like 75 for the single families or something.
Oh,
Like, I'm
oh,
not
that
sure.
low?
I think more
You think
because
so?
they're
was
like, what
thinking-
were they at North Park? Because it's gentry again,
I guess.
Yeah.
like 400 or something.
Yeah, I was thinking like 365.
Yeah, 365 to start. Call it 400. Yeah.
But how big is this area? Like, what all are they gonna have in there? Did they discuss like?
There's verbiage like I'd have to get my phone, but like it's going to be an inclusive community with sidewalks and parks and things like that,
Okay.
something like that. But anyway, yeah, so that's cool. It's like, I like gentry homes too. My parents had bought one in 2002 and we lived in one. And even the newer homes, you look at Hoopili versus Core Ridge versus gentry. I like gentry homes.
Yeah.
DR Horton's a national builder, so a lot of people have experience with those. And then Core Ridge, Castle and Cook is the builder for Core Ridge. They're just a different thing. They're not in the Ewa plane. They're in the Ewa Kapolei area, so their price per square foot, yard per price, like all of that's just less. It's just, but I know of some construction brothers who are like, yeah, would they use better materials? You actually get baseboards. You actually get like lights on the ceiling when you close.
You don't gotta pay extra for a fan.
You don't have to be extra for
Yeah.
So if you're watching this, whether live or after the fact, if you have questions, comments, put them in the chat so we can answer your questions, whether we answer it here live or answer it on the next one next week.
Yeah, and also
What
like
else?
that area. You got to talk about that area too, because you're already close to existing stuff like Kamakana Ali'i, the malls there, Commons, Kapolei Commons.
Between the two.
You're between those things.
Right.
But also there's all this talk about how they're going to like activate that area, that Kalaeloa area even more with like building an area that's kind of like salt at Kaka'ako with breweries and stuff. So the plan or the idea is to expand on this like second city and to have this like more kind of like cool area to go to. Plus, that's where like the Amazon building is supposed to be too.
Oh yeah,
like
makes
in that
sense.
area. So
I have
anywhere.
an anecdote for what you're saying.
Mm.
People could go look up if you happen to watch this and you have experience with the Alameda, Oakland, California area of the Bay Area. I don't know if when you lived there, if you ever went to like Alameda,
I
Oakland
did.
much. You did?
Yeah.
So there's an old Navy base.
Yes.
Because it's an old Navy base, it looks exactly like Barbers Point because they were both old naval air stations.
We used
Was
to run
Alameda
through
Air
there.
Station? Oh yeah. So
really cool.
They look almost identical, old airplane hangars, etc. And Alameda is about 10, 20 years in front of Barbers Point, maybe 30 years in terms of the base shut down longer ago. They started putting businesses there longer ago. And you can look at what Alameda is now. And Barbers Point, Kapolei is going to look a lot like Alameda. So
that's the sprawl they're going for.
it's going to look exactly like it. I mean, there's breweries, there's wineries, there's a distillery, there's gyms, there's
It's so cool.
Yeah.
it's
Which
cool.
is like kind of even crazy to think about. Like that kind of stuff being over there.
Right.
Like what the hell? Like there's
You know
nothing
what?
over there. There's
It's like if you got a second chance at developing Kalihi.
Is it?
Does that make sense? Because you're like industrial / residential,
Yeah.
but then you
Mhm.
get to make it trendy.
Mhm.
So if you had a second chance in the 2020s to do Kalihi again and into the 2030s,
Yeah.
you could do it with this intention.
Yeah.
I feel like
yeah.
Kapolei is already like, you know how people from Mililani, they're
Mhm.
like, we don't even need to leave Mililani. Like we have
Yeah.
everything at our fingertips. The food,
Yeah.
the schools, the shopping.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I feel like people not just the kids.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, in Ewa Beach, there's Waikai now, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Oh,
Top Golf for
yeah.
surf.
Have you guys ever
My
been to
daughter
the roller rink in
Yes.
Kapolei? Kiha,
I've
have you
not-
taken the kids?
No, but I want to because I was born on the mainland, right? And
Where roller rinks were like cool, right?
roller in the south.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
roller rinks were a thing. And I come to Hawaii and everyone's all into ice skating. I'm like, ice skating.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, what? So yeah, all you guys I know who from born and raised completely, you're like ice skaters.
Mhm.
And so I'm interested in this roller skating.
It's cool.
Yeah,
It's so funny. Like
And it's really it's really fun. And people
Mhm.
go there and they spend the whole families.
Yeah.
And then you see the younger, like the kids that got dropped off.
Yeah.
And they're like on a date.
oh my gosh,
Oh,
I know.
yeah,
I
And
know.
you see them and you're like, oh my God.
So cute.
Yeah.
And but not
holding
to fear,
hands,
not to
falling
fear.
down.
There's a beginner rink. So that
Oh,
because
there's
there's
two
like
different
speed
rinks.
skate in like
Right.
one rink where people are like going backwards and shit. I'm like, no way.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I'm
that's where I go.
Okay, so there's a rink for you.
That's where I go to.
You look like you just came from there
That
right,
is
like,
why
this morning.
I could have.
But they have like food and stuff in there, like hot dogs, that kind, like Ice Palace, you know.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
That's cute.
It's really cute,
We
yeah.
just had a birthday party there.
Mhm.
2 birthday parties.
Mhm.
One for the 13-year-old. The whole entire class was invited.
Oh my god.
And then one, my 8-year-old. And
Yeah.
there was like a group of 10 girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
And so- I mean, and we drove from town
Yeah. Right.
to.
do you think
get
it'd be a
there.
good place for a Core Team Hawaii Christmas party
No.
or like client event?
Too many injuries.
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah.
We don't need that liability. There's so many people. I mean,
But are there areas to hang out that aren't
no,
skating?
no, right?
No, there's
You know
like
how Ice Palace has like a
seats.
upstairs part? Does it have that? I
No.
don't remember seeing. No, there's like one bench on the outside of it. It's like you
Oh.
go, you skate.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
okay.
And you bring your own skates.
oh,
So many people do.
I guess you could.
Are more people doing 4 wheels or rollerblades?
kind of evenly mixed?
Yeah.
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 But the rentals are not good. And I did
they're
notice,
very
like when I
expensive.
was tracking, I think more than 50% bring their own.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Unlike Ice Palace,
Yeah.
which also is not comfortable.
because you know.
But most people are not rolling
Yeah.
up with their own skates.
yeah, because like we don't have no place else to use them. Like I said, that one place.
Right.
Well, that's cool. So I just came back from Colorado and I had the full mainland fall thing. Like I wanted to wear hunter green and orange and mustard yellow. And I want to go to REI and wear a beanie and go
You're
camping.
like on one.
Do
right
some
now
rock
with this.
climbing.
Rock climbing,
in
like
your biodegradable like lunch that you
Subaru,
bring.
you
to
know.
the- Mhm.
in my Subaru and the whole thing. And so, but the the outrageous point I'm making is Hawaii can get kind of boring sometimes, especially if you're from the mainland. Eventually, for some people, the novelty might wear off. There's some clients that move here and the husband or the wife is like, I don't even like it. Or maybe you grew up here and you're bored, or whatever the case may be. This rock, if going to the beach every weekend isn't your thing, eventually, like, what else am I going to do? So, sounds like we have roller skating now.
Roller skating.
We have
Yeah.
Ice Palace.
And roller skate, it's in Kapolei. Yeah. Kapolei inlines. I don't know. My
Yeah.
kids are like, oh, let's go to Kiha. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know
There's
what
an
that is.
acronym?
Yeah. Kiha. Yeah. I was like, what's that? Like some
Kiha?
kind of Hawaiian something. Like,
Yeah, it sounds like a Maori,
yeah. No.
New Zealand thing or
Kiha.
something.
No, but Brooke has been asking for a few weeks now. So I'm going to need to go.
And right across the street, just FYI, is a futsal.
Oh yeah,
So there's like
You would.
indoor soccer,
you would.
and there's leagues. Like,
Okay.
and these leagues are getting super.
Is it in an airplane hangar, like an old airplane hangar?
It's like the exact same warehouse that
Yeah.
the inline skating is in.
Mhm.
That's the thing that in Alameda, the gym we went to is an old airplane hangar with futsal, basketball, hockey, bar, jiu-jitsu, weights.
And it's same
I
management.
love that.
It's the same management. So like the skating is the same management.
Oh.
yeah,
Oh, they're smart.
yeah.
They're smart.
And there the futsal, there's leagues. So like now all the club teams are entering into the
They just need,
futsal
like,
league.
I'm
And
so- do they do derby at Kiha? Because I feel like I could get into that.
You actually look like a derby girl.
I could
You
definitely
really do,
get
yeah.
into that.
Ken,
You
tell
could
me,
definitely
tell
get
me,
into that,
Mahe
yeah.
don't look like a derby. Should we give us? Do we have any questions yet?
Any questions?
No questions stacked up yet. Stack up your Hawaii questions, your Hawaii culture questions, your real estate
Just comments, yeah. No questions,
comments. The people to comment about
yeah. Hey, how come nobody's?
Bob
Do you guys know
Ross,
who Bob
Tom
Ross
Ross?
is or not? Who do you? If you know who Bob Ross is, please put it in the comment. Yeah, obviously I know who Bob Ross is. Like, which is I know what all the.
well, the
comments are.
first question was, would you know who this is? And not everyone's gonna know brown beard afro.
Yeah, but the more important question is, do you know who Bob Ross is?
Right.
Because
I-
as Kenji wrote, you were like today years old when you found out who Bob Ross is, and I feel like that
Yesterday.
is wild.
Was
Yesterday,
yesterday.
years old.
I own in Sunterra, EBG. What is EBG? Gentry, Ewa Beach Gentry. That is. Nobody says Ewa Beach Gentry.
You just said that.
Okay, EBG and the wood.
You said who the hell's Bob Ross?
The wood used for framing was incredibly treated. After 30, there isn't any wood degradation. The amenities sucked, but the bones are good. Okay, so just a nod to like Ewa
Okay.
Gentry makes good homes.
Yeah.
Aloha, watched you from Okinawa and now here in Hawaii. Right on, Lee.
Welcome.
Welcome. Hit us up to buy a house, Lee, when you're ready. The food is better outside Mililani, Rod Wilson. We have a roller rink in Ewa Beach. Wow. Where in Campbell? I don't know. Kiha. I gotta get out more. Your videos are really great and full of information. Great job. And Mahe, you're so beautiful. Easy,
you.
Eric. Who the hell is Bob Ross? Yes, that's the guy. He's a new agent.
Oh, he don't know. Oh.
Yeah. Yes,
Rod knows.
Rod would know.
Everybody knows who Bob
Derek.
Ross is.
Not handle that.
Sorry, handle that never know, but
He was
You
a
better
painter
handle
with an
that.
afro.
Handle that is young,
yeah, handle that.
and
sounds-
he's
you young.
definitely more like he's not young, like an Aiden Young,
Yeah.
He's not an old soul.
right?
No,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
not an
Not
old
like a
man in a young man's
44-year-old.
body.
All right. What are the cons of affordable housing?
Okay, so there are restrictions for qualifications, income restrictions. There are also owner occupancy restrictions. You have to live in the home for a certain amount. It depends on the development. It also can depend on the price point you buy into, how long you're required to live in it before you can either sell it back to the developer if you got to get out earlier than that, offer it to them first, or get an agreement from affordable housing to go to make it like normal and not affordable anymore. Otherwise, you can't sell it to just open market. You can't,
So in summary, if
Mhm.
you are buying real estate with the investment opportunity in mind,
This is not
you'd
normally.
be, if possible, you'd want to buy non-affordable housing
Mhm.
because you're participating in the open market without restrictions.
Yeah.
For the opportunity
Yeah.
of having gotten into government housing. So if you look at the opportunity cost of owning the affordable unit for 10 years
Mhm.
versus owning the other units that sell for much higher, much freer, much quicker,
Mhm.
the other one's a better investment.
Yeah.
Typically.
Yeah, typically. And then you have to also kind of consider too, like, where am I in my life cycle? Where am I in, like, do I want to have kids soon? Like, am I going to outgrow something like this in quicker than,
Yeah.
I'm required to stay in it? So
How
just more things to think about.
How about getting pre-approved for affordable housing units? How's it different for you? Is it at all on the
No,
lending side?
we just need to make sure that there are some nuances associated with income. Like, okay, I was under the income limit, but now my year to date isn't.
Mhm.
There's some nuances there, which we actually go to generally HHFTC
Mhm.
to get their buy-in. Like, this is the reason we think they qualify.
Yeah.
And that takes a little bit, that's a little bit more labor intensive, so that does take a little bit more time. But no, in general, like, if you are within the income limits, it's pretty straightforward.
Mhm.
Cool. Handle that says 31. 31 years old, not that young.
Maybe no on Netflix then. He's on Netflix. So
Some
he only
people-
watch Hulu, that's why.
Some people got other stuff to do. They kind of be watching Netflix
I mean,
all day.
and before Netflix, he was on like
TV.
like
PBS.
Maybe
something
something,
like that.
like that.
Yeah.
like PBS,
Like whatever they
or
played in
like-
the schools and like,
Yeah, PBS.
Yes,
yeah, I just feel like he was just on TV all the time, like wherever.
drawing sunsets and trees.
and making happy little accidents. There are no mistakes. There are only happy accidents, Derek.
You know, you guys are good students.
Oh, you pay attention. That's why.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that kind of stuff.
He was in detention when we was watching Bob Ross, I think, probably.
I didn't start getting detention until middle school.
I hella got detention in middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got some. Not bad though. I wasn't that bad of a kid. I just wouldn't listen. I would crack a lot of jokes. I was disruptive, and I'd only get like C's when they knew I could get A's.
Sounds
So
like me.
they're very
Yeah,
frustrated.
that's every like high performing like
Entrepreneur.
yeah, that's every entrepreneur.
Everyone who finds their entrepreneur gene in
Yeah.
their 20s or 30s. I saw grounds breaking towards Eva. Is that a new development? Lee, I think the one you're talking about is probably Ho'opili, which contact us. Oh, Mahe actually just got a call. Mahe got an inside scoop recently on a certain deal that she was able to present to one of our buyers because we are so active in there. And if you get value from this channel, we'd love to help you with Ho'opili, introduce you to our home inspectors, our handyman, our window people, our flooring people, whatever it is you want to change out. Yes. And what else about that? Oh, and your price doesn't change if you go straight to the builder. So reach out to us. We keep our finger on the pulse and Ho'opili. I just dropped my water. And yeah, so I think if you saw it, you're driving by Eva, it was probably Ho'opili.
Yeah, I think so.
This one I'm talking about is deep. Like you got to go deep through Kapolei onto the Old Navy base. Rod said, "Are VA assumptions moving faster now?" Yes and no. Yes, because the people that had previously offered them are, they have a rhythm, they have maybe hired some people, but also no, because your neighbor could have did a VA assumption and it took 4 months, but you're assuming the debt from the current debt servicer. If you buy, the 2 doors down, and that's ABC mortgage holder, and they're very slow, then they're just very slow. So long story short, it just depends.
Depends
on the mortgage servicer.
Right.
Mortgage
And we've
servicer.
talked to escrow officers about this just to kind of get a feel on like what the the average is? Because we've seen 9 months.
We did 9.5.
Yeah. But
It
what was it like?
it's a pain.
Was it 6 months was like the average? 4 to 6 months,
I-
they said what they was like.
4 to 6 months is like average.
Yeah.
I wouldn't plan on anything.
Yeah. But just like,
more
you
than
just
4
never know. So,
or sooner than 4.
yeah.
One of the biggest blows to the VA assumption is that one of the last standing gap lender providers exited.
Oh, really?
That
Oh,
space.
interesting.
So they didn't exit in general, but they
Mhm.
exited that space. They're like, oh, we just found out we're the only ones doing it. No
Yeah.
one else is doing
So
it. We don't want to
explain to them what that means, gap lending. So
that's the purchase. If you're doing a VA assumption, you're taking over the seller's existing loan. So
Mhm.
if you're buying for 700,000 and they owe 600,000,
Let's do $1 million. So let's say they're buying from it because they're a multiple of 10 or multiple of 100.
okay,
So you're buying for $1 million. They bought, pick a year, 2018. If it's worth $1 million now, and they bought in 2018, they probably bought it for 600, 700. Say they bought it for 700,
Okay.
and they paid off some debt. So
Right.
they're at what, 650, 625,
Yeah.
6. So
650.
you got to come up with
now
that
we're-
cash difference,
that
right?
difference.
that $350,000 difference.
Yeah. And so there were lenders that were coming in and saying, like, because you're allowed to leverage up to 100%, we'll do that second mortgage. Is
Mhm.
effectively what it is. And all the lenders just kind of started saying, like, oh, no, we're not doing it anymore. We're not doing it anymore. Hickam Federal Credit Union was the last man standing. And
Oh, really? Hmm.
And they just told us, they're like, we're out.
Okay.
So
So bring your cash then.
right. You need money. Now there are certain mortgage servicers that will step up and offer that second mortgemortgage.
If you're so the one you're assuming with.
correct.
Okay. Mhm.
So that is I'm trying to remember who just did one. It's not Home Street. I'll remember in a second.
Mhm.
But they actually have a really amazing program where they do it and they
Mhm.
do it fast.
Mhm.
So
Really?
they're like the best
Mhm.
in terms of like you cross your fingers and hope the seller has them.
Yeah.
But they're not very prevalent in Hawaii.
Okay.
Mm.
So they don't do very much.
Okay.
But that would be ideal.
Okay.
That's the only one I know of right now.
Speaking of new construction, our finger on the pulse. I'm holding Mahe's phone. We just got a text from one of the representatives at Hoopili.
Don't read my text messages.
Because it was him. I took. All right. How does a rate buy down work? Jody, have you ever done one? Rate buy down, of course. Maybe you're talking about the 2-1 buy down, Rod. But rate buy downs, I mean, all the time.
Regularly, yeah.
Like
So
if
there's-
people want to buy points, they can.
Right. So there's a permanent rate buy down, which is you were going to get a 7.25, but you buy down to a 6.875. You pay like whatever amount it is, 1.1% of the loan amount, and you have that new rate for the entire 30 years. That's a permanent buy down.
Mhm.
Or there's a temporary buy down, which is a short-term solution. It's still a fixed rate, so it's not a variable rate. And you get, for example, the 2-1, you get 2% lower than your locked rate for the first 12 payments. And then you get 1% lower for the second 12 payments. And then the third year and on, you go back to whatever your locked rate is. So if you were locking in at 7.25, you're actually going to pay on a 5.25 for the first 12 payments. So on
Mhm.
like a $950,000 loan, that's saving like $1,100 per month.
Right.
And Jody and I did a whole video on this. We have like a whole half-hour
Yes.
video talking about
Yeah.
the
And then like,
different views on that approach.
and the important thing to note is that has to be a seller credit, right? Yeah.
Right. Or all from one source. So yes, a seller credit is the way that we are seeing them now. There is a
Can the buyer do it?
No.
Because
there is a cool program that we just utilized, which is a 1 year. So like if we're locking in at 7.25, you'll get a 6.25 for the first 12 payments, and that's it. And then you go back to 7. But This is a lender offered.
Oh,
Yes.
Lender
Okay.
credit.
Lender credit. We don't, if you like absolutely are stuck on this one house, but the seller absolutely won't budge.
Mhm.
But you really want to be able to participate in a temporary buy down, the 1-1
Mhm.
lender credit
Paid
could
for
be
by
a
buyer,
solution.
paid for by you in closing costs, right?
Yes.
By lender?
Mhm.
Okay.
Through the rate.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's not like free money.
Yeah.
I heard someone bought down to 6% recently. Can you permanently buy down that far? The way the math works is like your total closing cost cannot be more, closing costs, points you're purchasing, all that cannot be more than like 4.25% of the entire loan or something like that. Yeah, and it had changed.
Yeah.
So like
So it's 6.
it's 6%.
Mhm.
So if you're buying a
But of the 6, the 2 has to be utilized to the permanent buy down.
Okay.
And then the remaining 4 has to be to the closing costs.
Mhm.
So let's say
Mhm.
this does happen. The 2, you are using the 2, and that's all gravy.
Mhm.
But then the seller still is crediting 4,
Mhm.
but the closing costs only add up to 2.
Mhm.
Then there's nowhere to use that additional 2% credit.
Yeah.
so this is probably hard to follow, especially when we're not
So
whiteboarding it or something.
do you lose that, or do you just price reduce?
Price reduce.
Okay. So, but you lose that. There's no way you don't get that back in your pocket.
Right,
You got to
right.
price reduce.
Right.
Okay.
Or yeah, well, I mean,
Which we
can,
did with like Gabe and Karma, right? That's,
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Mhm.
Jody, do you have any knowledge regarding loans on Big Island with lava zones and all? Nereida, yes, I worked with a yeah, we worked with I worked with an agent on the Big Island for a client. She's from Guam. My jujitsu friend in the Bay referred his niece to me. She's from Guam, and they're moving from Colorado Springs to Big Island. And depending on the lava zone, you may or may not be able to get lending from certain lenders, etc. So it really changes on the Big Island, Pacific Rim. Jody's doing some math, but they do know the Big Island. In fact, Jody's sister is lived on the Big Island forever and is maybe moving back, and her parents have been considering moving Big Island. So long story short, yes, we're familiar. Can you refi during those 2 years, the 2-1 buy down years? The answer is yes. And also the amount you have left, like your credit, your prorated credit goes towards your principal. So really it's a good program in the end because you can use it for principal reduction or
so if rates go
Okay.
down in less than 2 years,
Mhm.
and you're like, dang, I'm just gonna wait because I don't want to lose out on that money or lose out on that lower rate,
Mhm.
we'll be able to do a cost benefit analysis to see if it makes sense. But you're not gonna lose out on the credit component.
a cost benefit analysis. Just sounds like helping you a lot. Yeah. Michael Lara said, for a permanent buy down, what is the typical ratio? 5% to buy down 1%? I don't know if I understand.
There's no typical ratio, but based on, because rates change, and one of our favorite words, there's like different tranches. So like once you get to comparing, like let's say right now the rate at par is about a 7.125. Then when we're talking about buying down from a 7.125 to a 6.875, there's a certain like general cost, but then if the tranche might fall off at 6.875. So then now the cost to even go from 6.875 to 6.75, which is
Mhm.
only an eighth, is going to be like quadruple
Mm.
as much, right? So it's definitely not a proportional, it exponentially increases
Yeah.
in cost. So, but I am looking at the rates right now. And for example, about a quarter of a reduction from that 7.125 is about half a point.
Okay. And that's all super technical. I'm sure of the 20, 30 people watching actively and hopefully hundreds and thousands more to follow. Some people are like, what? That was all that she said. And leave it to us. In the end, I'll do my pitch. Yesterday, we had a really high level conversation
Yeah.
that I feel like even in the real estate world, a lot of people probably can't follow.
I mean,
Like
it's,
even
it's
industry professionals
I was trying to explain it to an underwriter,
yesterday.
which underwriters aren't like. So the interesting thing about underwriters is that like you'd be surprised about what they don't know. What they do know is guidelines, and they
Yeah.
do know
Like
right that-
compliance people.
right, like they
Yeah.
do know how to say like, well, no, that is actually not how we would calculate that income, or that's not the proper documentation for an IRA when we're converting it into utilizing the asset or whatever. You know, they know that. But what they don't know really about is stuff like that we were talking about, like amortization and what happens if you do aggressive payments and what happens if you like ballpark, how much would you think how much of the term gets cut off if we pay half a payment more per payment? You know, they're like, I don't know, you do the math. Like you're the one that does that, you know?
So point being is we were in here solving a problem for a veteran, active duty, an Army Green Beret, and they actually have a lot of equity in their current home. So the situation is they could write offers now, but if you say you have, let's say just to use the, say you're going to buy $1 million home. If you do a VA loan for $1 million, you have $1 million debt service and all the interest paid on that debt. But next month you were going to sell your home and you'd have 500,000 cash. So now you'd only need to take out a $500,000 loan if you waited. But then the home you love is like there now. We ran all these complex scenarios from a million different angles about what would be the best approach. And the timing of refining. Should you refi immediately? Should you refi in 24 months? What's the cost to refi? What's the cost to wait? What's the cost of putting that 500,000 on the mortgage as soon as you sell your house? But then you're locked into those higher payments. And how does principal and interest adjust? So point being is we get super nerdy and complex and solve problems, so you don't have to. If you like to participate in those really high level conversations, then let's do it. If not, then you can leave it to us. I feel like almost no one does it better. All right. How much credit would I have to offer to get a buyer a better rate? Well, if he's selling his house and he does a 2-1 buy down,
right,
it's around 3% of the sales price, right?
Right.
Yeah. So $1 million house, $30,000, then the buyer gets that benefit. And it's whatever. If I'm your listing agent, I approach it well in whatever way makes the buyer feel better. Would they like a $30,000 price reduction because of the way the market is? Would they like you to do a rate buy down? A lot of times they like that because people think in terms of payments. Like, oh wow, I could lower my payment by all of that money.
right. So like a $30,000 price reduction is going to be $65 a month lower. Like, so guess what? $30,000 price reduction, you get to pay $65 less per month. That is not impressive versus the $30,000 to the 2-1. And now you're paying for the first 12 months, you're paying $1,100 less.
And the 30,000 is really, well, it depends. Depends on the loan and what you're doing, but it may only be realized whenever you sell. So 4 years and 8 years and 12 years. Right. Maybe you were putting 500 grand now and a $30,000 price reduction is realized today because now I have 30,000 in my pocket to go play stocks or something. Right. It's going to change for every person.
Right. Just to answer Rod's question, there is a 6% on the rate sheet today. It's about a 3.5% cost. Okay. In most cases, we'll be able to prove how that may not be in your best interest.
But if you're the seller, if you're listing and I'm the listing agent, it's whatever makes the buyer feels good, achieves your outcome and the timing you want it, and move on. If I'm representing on the buy side, we get super granular and we explain to you your options so that you can choose what makes you feel good, or you can kind of increase your education on what is actually more financially beneficial. Thank you. I know it's tricky on the Big Island. Reach out when the time comes closer. Yeah, hit us up. The best thing that never happened. My dad won a Bob Ross painting contest back in 1992. That's awesome. Cool.
What are you?
Live. All right, Don, thanks for the text message. I have a feeling you're watching the live. All right. We don't have any. Stack us up. Oh, another question. All right. Is it possible to purchase an investment property in Hawaii while living in another state? And if so, sorry, Mahi's like heart thing. Is that YouTube or
I don't
you?
know how to make that.
Where's that thing? And if so, what does it take to get qualified? Yes, you can purchase in America because of our constitution. You can purchase an investment property in any state, from any state, even from another country.
Different rates, but you can.
Yeah, second home or investment property or DSCR loan. These are different rates, different loan products. What does it take to get qualified? Well, it depends on which loan product. If you're using a DSCR, it depends on how that property is going to perform. Debt service coverage ratio loan. If you're using a second home loan, then depends on your debt to income, how much money you make, what your other debt service is. So it just depends. What I will transparently say is typically, it's a generalization, but typically Hawaii is not the best place to go and purchase cash flow. Now, if you have a more complex tax strategy and you can get depreciation, we have large amounts. Our real estate costs a lot, so we can do more depreciation. We all in this room love our appreciation play here in Hawaii. We're very confident in Hawaii, especially Oahu real estate long term. But if you're trying to like get your passive income up by $1,000 by purchasing a property at 20 or 25% down, there's other states where you can do that better. One thing to note too, if you are, when you go to sell, if you're an out-of-state investor who is still out of state and not occupying the home, there's a HARPTA tax, which I believe is 7.25%, right? 7.25%?
7.25 and then 13.25.
Yeah, that's for
Yeah.
FERPTA. So there's disincentives to purchasing out of state, but that doesn't mean you can't do it and be successful. A lot of people want to purchase in Hawaii because they're eventually going to move back home to Hawaii and they're hedging. They're like, I'd rather get that home in Kapolei now. So that at least I have something. If in 10 years, my wife and I
think
choose
that's
to
the super
retire.
unique like scenario where it's like, we'll see people buying investments because when I can retire, I'm going to move into it.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not choosing Hawaii because like, I'm going to make the most money on that rental. It's like, I have a long-term play in Hawaii. And so I'm going to get into the market now.
Yep.
I think so. All right. Stack us up with your question. What's Rod say here? Mahalo, guys. Jody is one hammer. Oh, picking up pigeon. Highest recommendation. Derek looks very distinguished. Oh, thanks, huh? Distinguished. I think I just got bald. Feels like I've been through some things. All right. Well, we don't have any more questions. I feel like it's a little slower than normal because of Halloween or something. But side note then. But do you have consults you need to get to? No? All right. Where do you think, where is a place that most people from the mainland or even local people don't think first, like don't think, oh, this is a good place to move to, but is underrated?
On the island?
Yeah. So like
My neighborhood on the island.
local people tend to stick to where they're from, right? But like military people from the mainland, a lot of times they think like most common Kailua, right?
Right.
So that's too obvious. But what's underrated? What should more people think about and consider?
Makakilo.
Yeah, Makakilo
I
is
feel
one
like
we say a lot.
Makakilo.
Downfall of the traffic, but if you don't have to deal with traffic.
Yeah. Downfall is traffic, but depending on where you are in Makakilo, well, there's all different kinds of real estate in Makakilo to begin with, when it comes from like, more affordable price points all the way up to like nice luxury houses. So there's pretty much all kind, but it doesn't have, it's like the price points are a little bit more affordable. And you're also not like in the thick of it, like how you are in Ewa Beach and Kapolei, where a lot of people can be. I mean, some people, that's exactly where they want to be, but a lot of people can be turned off to just like the way it's blocked, the way it's built, the way there's no cross breeze because everything is all, right up against each other. Makakilo is like same zip code as that.
Yeah.
And same amenities as that. And similar price points can be higher up there. but just a completely different thing. And it feels more like Hawaii up there
Yeah,
Mhm.
than it does just in the rest of the Everplain right below.
I'd agree with that.
So people like discount it because it pops up in the Kapolei zip code. And so they're like, no, I don't like Kapolei. I don't like Ewa Beach. I don't like Everplain. Yeah, but it's not Everplain. So it's worth looking into
Yeah,
for the price point, for the cooler temperature up there. I mean, watch our Makakilo video. I just like did a whole video about, why Makakilo is different from what people expect it to be.
watch the one I did. Watch the Makakilo
Nah,
video.
watch the more recent one
Now watch the one I did.
with higher views.
Watch
That's
it.
the
Watch
one.
them from someone who's lived in Makakilo. That's the first place I lived when I moved from the mainland was Makakilo, and I said it in the video I did. My stepmom, that mound in Makakilo. It looks like a upside down rice bowl, and if you live over here, it blocks all the Diamond Head views. And so where we lived, it did. But as you came out of the neighborhood and looked left, then Diamond Head would reveal. And every single day she'd go, "Isn't it so beautiful? Isn't it so beautiful?" And my stepmom was from the mainland, but she had lived here like 20 plus years. And every day it was still beautiful, still beautiful. And I heard a quote today, or I read a quote today. Gratitude is wealth, complaining is poverty. And
I agree.
that hit. And I'm like, yeah, if you live in Makakilo, you literally have some form of wealth every day when you look at that view. And unlike Kona, unlike Maui, West Maui, our hearts, Oahu doesn't have all of these like cliffs right next to the ocean where you get this view and that's just your life. It's just living perched with view all the time.
Mhm.
We're very select places. And so, yeah, Makakilo is one of those places where you get that ocean view
Mhm.
and you get gratitude, which is wealth every day. Handle that. You're asking about how to get business, bro. I told you, hit us up. I told you.
Did he reach out to you?
No,
yet?
he didn't slide on my DM.
Reach out to Derek.
Hit me up. I don't need your, here's the thing for anyone watching this who's in the industry, other agents I know watch us from across the country and locally. We actually typically aren't recruiting to our team. I mean, we're always recruiting. We're always looking for like another magic piece, another Power Ranger to plug in, but it's just rare that that's the right fit. Now you might be the next best thing greater than us, but it just has to be the right fit because we have something really special with our team. Even as our team extends into our other partners, we have a really unique thing that's kind of, we feel, uncommon and never been done. And so my point is I'm not this agent team leader. It's always come to my brokerage, come to my team. But if you want help, you got to hit me up, bro.
Yeah, you gotta ask.
Aloha, what 808 investors. Aloha, what other states do you personally invest in? So I am actively trying to buy a fourplex in Vegas right now. It's a certain play, like a government sponsored housing, Section 8 sort of thing. I invest in multifamily, which means I'm just a silent partner with these other operators running deals in other states. Small investments, like in Tennessee. But that's more about the investment group than the state because you don't have any control other than who you decide to invest with and where. But I would invest anywhere that made sense. If I had a friend who like had this certain strategy in Iowa or Montana, then that's what I would do. So real estate can be good anywhere for you just apply the right strategy and the right network and the right team to the right area. Handle that. When it comes to new builds, is it better to go with developers, preferred lenders, or go with someone like Jody? You know what? Sometimes those developers can beat Jody. It's one of the only times. I tell our clients who hit us up, like, I'm going to refer you to Jody and her team. Uh, and I give them an explanation of how our relationship was formed or whatever. In the case of new builds, sometimes Jody stays in there and she's the lender. Sometimes they win. There's been a time where you guys didn't have like a physician's loan, and then so our physician went with someone else. But for the most part, uh, Jody crushes it. Jody will crush any situation.
But for the developer scenario, the in-house lender is not really making very much money, and they are receiving developer credits, which that's something that I want I say our buyers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But like I want like even if they end up not working with us, like I want them to be able to take advantage of that 9K credit or that, 11K credit.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's something that I don't get that from the developer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm always gonna want to compete. I
Mhm.
love competing, and I'm always gonna give the most honest feedback as far as why they should stick with me or why they shouldn't, and why they should go with the developer. There are cases where the in-house cannot qualify the buyer,
Mhm.
so they're gonna stick with us
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we know how to get them qualified. But if it was, let's just say it was like totally qualified vanilla,
Mhm.
and the developer's giving 11K credit, we would probably say like, stick with them. There's been principal cases where it's been super bad service and the buyers have come back and said like, I don't even care about that money. Like
Yeah.
I just need someone that communicates and I know what's going on. And so they would come back to us. But
Mhm.
Yeah. I just I just bought a truck this weekend, and I was pre-approved from Navy Fed, and I went in, and the finance guy was like, "What was your rate?" And I told him, he's like, "Oh, well, we offering," and it was inferior. And he's like, "You could go at us or whatever." And I was like, "Why would I?" And my point is I know Jody doesn't do that with our clients. I say, "Well, nah, you should just go against your own interest and go like." That's what the car salespeople were doing, and none of us operate that way. From the home inspectors, we recommend to everyone who's affiliated with us. Uh, I'm starting, so I have no idea besides social media. Definitely go with Jody. I have a $1.2 million Rod. Definitely go with Jody. What about us, bro? I have a $1.2 million budget for a home in Oahu and plan to put down 800,000. What debt to income ratio would be the max I could have?
for
So they want to buy for 1.2 on Oahu, and they want to put down 800. So we have a $400,000 loan.
regardless of the loan size, the ratio is the ratio.
Yeah.
So if it's conventional, it's going to be 50% gross income divided by the proposed loan plus taxes plus insurance plus any applicable maintenance fee plus any existing liabilities that you have. And what I mean by liabilities would be your minimum credit card payments if those don't get paid off monthly, auto loan payments, student loan payments, personal loan, PLOCs.
My son is planning to get married, and mom and I are scared to give him 500,000 to buy in Salem, Oregon. We'd rather he move back to Oahu, but he likes it there. Is Oregon a good place to buy? I can't really say. I don't know the job market in Oregon. I don't know the forecast. Blue states sometimes concern me.
I would buy a house here for him. So thank you in 10 years.
Yeah.
Even if he never moves here.
Yeah.
You can buy a house for your actually no, sorry. Not buy a house for your child unless they're um disabled. So, but you can buy a house here and do whatever you need to do with that house in terms of it being an income earning property or what have you, um, with the hopes of that being your son's future investment.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because you have $500,000. Congratulations on doing well
Yeah.
in life.
Holy cow.
You're looking for a storage of wealth, right? And if buying for $500,000, we think of things like in monthly passive income and investments and things like that. If you with $500,000 down, and you get into an entry level home in Eva, with some debt, with some loan, and then that puts off blank amount per month and rental income. Let's say you net 3,000. Let's just say. Now you take that 3,000 per month and pledge that to him and say, "You go buy a house in Oregon and do what you got to do, and I will pledge 3,000 a month. If you ever want to move home, there's a house for you." That solves both problems. I think that's like a
Right.
creative way to do both.
That's amazing.
My son is planning to get married. Oh no, that's the same one. I'm in Jody Verlander, right? 808 investor, mahalo. Okay. You know where I think might be an underrated place too to live? Royal Kunia.
Yeah.
Royal Kunia.
Oh heck yeah!
Royal Kunia, you can catch views.
Mhm.
It's tends to be a more mature neighborhood.
Mhm.
Yes,
Uh,
very family oriented.
Yeah.
caveat: there are some brush fires because there's dry fields around, and you can get fireworks
Mhm.
all year round. So
Mhm.
if that bothers you,
That's Waipahu School District.
Waipahu School
Waipahu
District.
School District. I know. We had my brother has a really good friend, and she like bought in Royal Canoe, which was like beautiful, when it was like newer too when she bought.
Yeah.
But she always would be like, "Oh, but it's not really Waipahu." But she'd like give us her address and like it'd be like Waipahu, whatever. She's like, "But it's not really Waipahu." I'm like, "First of all, Mary, like that's fine, like it's okay."
Yeah. Mary.
But it's like Waipahu, but not, just like Waikele is Waipahu, but not, and Waipio is Waipahu, but not. Even Coleridge,
Coral Ridge is Pearl City High School district.
is it
Oh really?
Yeah.
interesting with a Waipahu zip
You know
code?
Waipio, like by Costco and stuff? Those kids
Yeah.
go to Pearl City.
What?
Yeah.
Waipio gentry kids.
Waipio Gentry.
Are you sure?
Not like Lumi Street. Lumi
Mhm.
Ao, yeah. Or no, not Lumi Ao. Not like Lumi or not like Crestview, but Waipio by Foodland.
Yes.
Those kids go Pro City.
Interesting.
Now, if you're gonna make a buying decision based on what I'm saying,
No.
hit us up first. Like, call the school because the school can change it at any time.
Yeah.
But yeah, kids from Waipio Gentry, they go Pro City.
Interesting.
Yeah, never know. Huh?
No, I think when I lived is that like different than it was before? I thought those kids went to Waipahu, and
You lived in Waipio before?
yeah, only for a couple of years, or maybe like 1 year, really.
Really?
Hmm.
Oh, interesting.
Between Pearl City and Wailua.
What about Mililani?
That was end of high school.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Any more questions popping up? No. All right. Let's bring in Aiden or Kenny and talk about some showings and some happenings. Thank you, Jody.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right.
And
So this is live. This is our. You can see the back of our doors painted white. Yeah. You can even see. Oh, you can see my lunch bag out on my desk out there. We're gonna bring in some of other teammates that you don't hear from as often, but people you are likely to work with. For everyone watching too, keep in mind it's Halloween, so the reason why we're dressed ridiculous, or I had a mask on in the beginning, is that.
I was really honestly thinking of wearing my Bob Ross like wig in
Yeah.
here.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Oh, are we bringing both people in?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, Aiden, boy, ASMR.
Can tell he's funny. We went straight to ASMR.
We don't have another chair for Aiden.
Bring
dude.
the chair then.
See how insubordinate my team can be.
I'm posing as a brick
Mahe is
wall.
the actual.
Oh my God, this guy's been lifting, so he's on one now. Yeah, I saw Aiden. Here's quick story. We were at the gym today, right?
Yes.
And I saw Aiden do a quick. Before he got in the seat to do the machine. He did a quick,
No.
and then he did his set.
It's like, no, I would never do that. Come closer
You
to the
did.
mic.
You know you did. All right.
Oh my God, Aiden. Get out of the shadows.
So what's going on in the business, Kenny and Aiden? You showed this morning. You hit an early gym so you could go show. What'd you show?
A house in Kaneohe, single family. A lot of termite damage.
Not that you're a termite inspector,
Not that I'm a termite inspector,
but there's some hollow wood
there
with
was
some.
some hollow wood, some very soft spots.
It was Halloween themed too.
It was Halloween theme too. There was
Let's talk about that. So
It actually was. I saw a quick picture.
the saw house.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. We have this buyer who is on the mainland, Army veteran. Our active duty Army. I mentioned him earlier, and he was. They were like, let's make sure we do all this, do all this. We sent him an example of one of Aiden's previous showings, and he was like, oh yeah, that's everything I was gonna ask for and more actually. And today we went so far as to tell him the house might be haunted, bro. Maybe not in those words, but my point is when people are buying virtual with us, we do a large percentage of our business with virtual buyers. We make sure to not only be not just neutral about it, but we're negative and discerning for you. Like if you're the husband and your wife was here, you're the wife and your husband was here, you're like, how does it smell? How does it look? What are the vibes? Like be negative because I can't be there. I want the worst version of this because I can't be there. And because Aiden probably does more showings than anyone on the team. You did that today. You said you thought you saw a white thing move, like a white spirit or something.
Yeah, I was freaked out. I was showing. I was like, so the backyard, you got a wooden fence, and then I saw something move, and I was like,
Is it because it's Halloween? People in the gym were wearing masks.
Oh.
Today's Halloween.
no.
Decorations.
You really
blowing
think
in the
something
wind.
moved?
I just had weird vibes in the whole house. Okay.
Well,
Had
so the
weird
house
vibes.
had a Saw painting on. In Saw, there's like this black and white spiral thing. The
It's
Disney
actually
circle
red
thing.
and white, but
Oh, is it red and white in
it's
Saw?
red and white.
Okay. Well, anyways,
It was weird vibes the whole time, and
how does
halfway through, it was I saw something in the corner of my eye, and I just I was lost for words for a little bit.
But so we told the client that I'm not so concerned. This client's actually going to fly here. So if we were accepted, they'd be here for the home inspection and they could discern whether or not Aiden's a wimp or
He said that we did an audio message.
we sent
He
that to
goes-
the client. Yeah, we
goes-
sent that to the
He
client.
goes, hey man, so Aiden was just talking to me about the weird vibes that he's getting. Maybe he's a wimp. And it just continued on.
But
point being, that's the type of
we got you.
when we see and feel or hear or smell something, we call it out and we'll say
Yeah.
it.
I was going to ask you, how'd the house smell?
It smelled, like when you haven't opened the window, like you just come back from a trip.
Musty.
Dingy,
Musty.
musty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like underneath the kitchen sink?
Oh,
The humidity has a smell.
that's what it would be. Yeah.
Oh.
If you get a showing video from me and you hear like that's me, that's me.
You
That's
know?
me just like sniffing around, especially under the sink area.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. What's that? What have you been showing? What are you working on?
Pretty active in Salt Lake, Pearl Ridge, right around where we are now, and couples here, but they actually to speak to the video and the discerning
Yeah, I'm
negativity.
trying to
that
give
they
you
want.
this. Come closer, or
Scooting it.
hold it.
The wife is at Tripler. She works for the VA. Husband is not working as of now. They just got here like last weekend. So he's going with me and we're showing during the week. The wife still wants the video.
Mhm.
Right,
I
right.
trust my husband, but those dope videos that you guys do, I really still want that when I'm not here. And then
We've had
I'll
that
go with you on
before.
Saturdays. So
Yeah.
it's a little pat on the shoulder, but yeah, she
I feel like-
wants the video.
I feel like we've had ones where it's either a single buyer or they're both here, and they still want the video even though we
Correct.
are with them.
We have.
Can you take that video for us? Yeah, because here's the thing: virtual buying, like, you could go see 5 homes in a day, 3 homes in a day, and you're like, what? Where was the pantry in that
Yeah.
kitchen, whatever? But you have
Second
this
one just
video.
disappears.
Mhm.
That you can't.
Yeah, but you have this video and you can review it
Rewind,
over and
slow
over and
mo,
over.
do whatever. Yeah.
And if you're like, I can make quick decisions on certain things, but I want overly hyper analytical on bigger things like a truck
Yeah.
or a
But
car.
if you're not like super decisive yet and you're so seriously like debating
I
every
want to
little
watch that
thing.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely had that. And it's like important to talk about, like that's part of the training process for we're not like looking to like make our team bigger or anything like that. But when we find pieces that fit, like that's part of the training process is how we show. I gotta find it. I have it somewhere. The first time Aiden did a virtual showing was in my apartment, in my
I was gonna say
condo.
my house too, yeah.
Yours, we did one at yours.
And my
too.
wife
We
was
did.
kind of didn't appreciate it. She's like, why are we doing videos of our house? Like what? And we didn't know everyone as well back then
Yeah.
too. It's like,
But we did like condo and single family. And he
Yeah.
like went, what we do is we do the training, we show you a bunch of ours, like Derek showed me a bunch of his and then had me do them, and now
Yeah.
I showed Aiden a bunch of mine and then had him do one. And I also did the same exact thing. And then we compared, and that's how we like learn critique. Okay, oh, that's what I could have done better. Oh, I wouldn't even have thought to aim the camera there. Whoa, okay, I didn't even look at the ground. Oh my gosh, my hand is all over the place. Like, so we understand buying virtually is like a daunting process. Like, I don't even fit jeans I buy online. You know what I mean? Like, it's scary, but this is what we do. Okay, like, and
It's true.
if you need a sample, go to the website, fill out the contact form, have a consultation with us, give us the opportunity to show you some of these videos, and we'd happily do that, just so you can kind of put your mind at ease, because we do it very different than,
I'm trying to buy an investment in Vegas.
and you can't get a
ASAP.
video the way we would do it, right?
I sent them the video. I was like, I want you to do this.
Mhm.
And they're like, what?
We're like, no.
I did a deal on another island with another agent, and they went and did a showing, and I was like, no.
Immediately no.
Send them what we did, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
you guys do that? And I'm like, yeah, like
Mhm.
this is what we do. Like we are probably the foremost experts in virtual buying on the island. And they were like, oh wow, yeah, I don't, because they're on Kauai, so they do virtual too, but they're
Right.
like, oh, I never did videos like that.
Yeah.
So
We'll
yeah,
always
so we're the
we'll-
standard.
we'll
We're the standard
always-
for that.
Yeah, we'll always have other agents who are like, oh, wow. Like, if they're showing, that's
Yeah.
their listing or something, and we're there at an open house or something, and like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's
wow.
common.
Wow.
Listing agents like, wow, you do that for your buyer's agents.
It's like, yeah, you don't.
For your buyer clients. That's really cool. That's a lot.
Or we've had
And-
listing agents say, like, kind of be offended.
Yeah.
But then we have to explain to them, like, look, if my buyer still writes you an offer, is excited, I guess you got a point.
True. It could go both ways. For sure.
Yeah.
And
Especially at an open house.
yeah.
You get discerning. We're trying to find what's wrong, and there might be
Yeah.
a crowd around.
And then,
We try to keep it low in open
Yeah,
house
yeah.
out of
we're not
respect.
trying-
Yeah.
Out of
Not
respect.
trying to
Also, like,
disrespect. They can come up-
different agents, different teams do things differently. So what's good about our team now is that, like, we do a bunch of business. We really do. So
Yeah.
people know that we do a lot of business, and they know that we're specializing in virtual tours. So whereas a listing agent may be like, oh, your buyer is virtual, and be apprehensive about it, we're starting to get that reputation now where it's like, oh, their buyers are virtual, but they're solid because
yeah.
we do it a certain way that,
Yeah, if we haven't closed with an agent on the island virtually, we've closed with someone in the brokerage virtually, and someone they know for 100%.
I think we've only had one that we worked with that was like, no, you're going to have to do a sight unseen.
And then-
that was
addendum.
like early on. too,
Yeah,
before.
very.
Wait, going back. You guys fill out the BCQ on the website.
People don't know what BCQ is.
Sorry, if you guys fill out the information sheet and
So-
want to do a consult with us,
So look, right behind me, coreteamhawaii.com. You scroll all the way to the bottom, just take it all the way to the bottom, fill this out, and then our assistant will reach out to you and ask you 10 questions on our BCQ, buyer's consult questionnaire. And it just gets prompted to be sent to you so you can fill it out yourself. But that's the best way. Just go to the bottom of our website, back to the top. What
I
were you
was saying, if you guys want virtual tour samples, we definitely have virtual tour samples in the areas you're looking at. And we may even have
corner of the island.
virtual tours of the specific building or complex you're looking at. We'll just, if you ask us a question, we might be able to send you an actual listing.
With the
that was
volume
there.
we do now, a decent amount of time we're in a consult with a buyer, and it's, oh, show me some, like, let's talk about some properties you're interested in, and then it's like, oh yeah, we showed that one. Oh, our clients bought that one. Oh, you were interested. You've been looking for 6 months. You had your eye on that one. Our
Yeah.
clients bought that one. So
Or like, oh, you know what? We don't have that one. They're new to market, but our client bought that exact thing on the other building.
yeah,
So
yeah,
we have a
something
video
like
for that. Like,
Yeah, and you can talk to them if you want.
Yeah.
Well, you got nothing to hide.
Mhm.
Yeah, talk to them. Or we say this all the time, and almost no one takes us up on it. But pick a letter, like pick T, and we'll introduce you to Trisha.
Mhm.
Pick, D, and we'll introduce you to who?
And I, for some reason, immediately was like, oh, I don't know of a D.
D. Guarantee we got
Oh, we definitely.
Drew. Oh, Drew and Katie. Yeah, Drew and Katie. So pick a letter, That way, you know that we're not selecting like our top client who's our biggest raving fan. We'll pick a letter, we'll randomize it, we'll introduce you to a client whose name starts with that letter, and you can say, hey, how was it buying? You know, Chris, I too long didn't read. I'm just kidding. He said, who doesn't know who Bob Ross is? Might be easier to count.
That is easier to count. Yeah.
People handle that don't know who Bob Ross is.
Just you and handle that then. You both need to handle that.
A lot of people don't know who Bob Ross is. All right. Today's Halloween. It looks like we're going to be wrapping this up because
Yeah.
we don't have any more questions in
Since
the
we're
queue.
on the topic Halloween though, just for our mainland people who are like, what are you guys doing? What neighborhoods do you guys
Questions.
what neighborhoods do you guys hit up for Halloween? People with kids who are like, because not every neighborhood goes off. We'll keep it honest. Like my neighborhood does not go off. So I gotta drive to go trick or treat.
Where is the on Oahu?
Down
Where's
to us.
At the
where-
beach, I feel like when we were like doing showings. Where were we? Walkley. I was like shooketh at like
Big
20-foot
kids.
skeletons. And my friend is like posting in her Leslie, she's
Yeah.
posting in her Instagram story, like she's like building still today.
Yeah.
Like the whole Cars cast from the Disney movie Cars
nice.
Yeah.
in Halloween costumes. Like she's at freaking Disneyland or something.
Yeah.
They're building that. And she was like, oh my gosh, I'm so late to the game. I'm like, what game is this?
Yeah.
And when did we start playing that? Like Ewa Beach goes
Yeah.
off.
Our area is pretty, and you can
Like Ewa
you can
Beach
catch
just
both.
like goes off for all holidays.
Like
Huh?
where we're at, I've got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Well,
So
there's different
different kind of Halloween,
and there's different kinds of Ewa Beach.
different kinds of the beach for sure. Where the kids are,
Yeah.
like where we're at, we're gonna do a potluck in the park.
Cool.
So real food before candy, and then just let the kids go do their
Mhm.
trick or treat. And some of the houses are like probably should have a parent with little kids.
Yeah.
House of the Impaler,
Oh my God.
like themed
Yeah.
based, and then
Yeah.
and then there's also 2-story
Yeah.
houses with
Yeah.
Jack from
Uh-huh.
Nightmare Before
Yeah.
Christmas.
Wait,
That's tall as the house.
I know, dude. It's tall.
So-
I'm like, I'll see stuff. I'm like, oh, dude, I'm like, who would buy that? Everybody in Ewa
Bruh.
Beach.
Everybody in let's say Ocean Point.
Ocean Point.
My wife got a 18-foot high snowman
Oh,
for Christmas.
Yes. I've
You
seen
saw
it.
it,
I
huh?
greatly appreciate it. Yeah.
Damn.
But Wailua, my family
Oh, you
house,
said is it your auntie goes off for Halloween? Yeah.
yeah. It used to be like I spent like my high school years just passing out candy because it was always like the carport that had like the cool haunted house. And my dad used to have like a dummy that he put in the chair, and then part of the time it'd actually be him. So the expectation is that it's the dummy, and then he just like scream it.
Yeah,
like,
I love
just
those.
crazy stuff. Everybody's house was all done up before.
There's a haunted house in Mauka.
Is there?
I think you guys went last year. Yeah.
No, we didn't go to a haunted house.
There's there's a haunted house in Milani Mauka. I feel like too if you go Hawaii Kai, you probably get the 2 cup Reese's instead of the 1.
Nah.
The full size candy bar,
Full size
instead of
Snickers, you know.
The fun size.
the
No,
miniatures, the
but
fun
you know, I
size.
feel like they also give you
Hey,
You know, like-
also give you 2 bucks.
There was one auntie doing the toothbrush at the trunk or treat.
yeah,
It comes along with it.
yeah,
Canned goods.
yeah. Our neighborhood growing
your
up.
pillowcase all heavy.
Pillowcase.
Yeah,
I
your
was just gonna
pillowcase
say
all
that
heavy.
they don't use pillowcases anymore. They sell buckets. I was like, you guys buy buckets for Halloween? That was just
Pillowcase.
too heavy. You gotta
McDonald's,
just
if you got the Happy Meal at the right time, you got a green.
so small that you can only go like 5 houses
Yeah, but
with.
then you have the pillowcase. And just
Yeah,
one pillowcase, and
I used
all
to have
the
like
kids get
the hobo
bucket.
pack over the bag. You know, just like
Is there anything
Close
unique
it in.
about Hawaii Halloween? Like, we're still usually giving Reese's and Snickers.
yeah, but you know, also not so much anymore because times are changing. But you used to have like the house with the musubis or the house that
Really?
give up, yeah,
Had
the
house
house
with
that,
musubi?
yes, our neighborhood always had musubis, hot dogs, corn dogs,
Oh.
otter pops. There was the otter pop house.
Where you
that
used to
all-
live?
in Pearl
50th
City.
State Fair.
Holy Circle, bro.
It's
like, and you know what? It was interesting because this was like the poorer side of town, and during like Halloween, everybody like gave choke stuff, Hawaiian sun
the
juices.
pigeon just going off.
Oh,
Oh, you know, I
The
was like,
pigeon
I was
is-
back in
Got
Holy
into-
Circle all of a
got into-
sudden.
got into Halloween.
The pigeon is going off.
But you know, Hawaiian homestead neighborhoods always get good stuff too.
Yeah.
Like when we lived on Maui, Hawaiian homestead neighborhoods were the neighborhoods to go to.
You know, in my neighborhood last year, they had this one house. In fact, that's my brother-in-law's friends. Them they have like all the kids candy, different buckets. Take as much as you want, like hundreds. Just take, and then they have a thing of Heineken.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah.
Hawaii thing.
We've got
That's
we've
a
got
Hawaii
the neighbor
thing.
that does the pineapple martini
Oh,
in a little
Oh,
Dixie
yeah?
cup. So and they do candy as well.
yeah.
But when the adults are with the kids,
Yeah.
here you go.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
I
just
appreciate
pineapple
that.
juice.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Right on. All right, last question. What is your favorite Halloween candy?
I have to give this.
Yeah, this is
Really?
Yeah.
If it's not Reese's, you're wrong.
You know what? There is something like, honestly, the pumpkin Reese's. I don't know if it's like the ratio of chocolate to peanut
yeah,
butter
yeah.
is different or something.
What about it?
They're better.
Oh yeah,
They're like the best Reese's of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
year. Is
it's
the
like
pumpkin
it's like
ones.
semi got a little crunch to it
I don't know what it is, but it's
because we have
better
some
than,
in our
like, a
house, and
normal one.
I've had
I think the
like
chocolate's
7
thinner.
or 9 in the
Oh,
last couple of days.
I've had between 1 to 18. I ate the whole bag.
Yeah,
But-
those are good.
Okay, so
But I
normally it'd
don't
be
I don't
like
go
a-
white Reese's though.
Oh no,
No.
never
Like-
white
What is
chocolate, anything.
White chocolate.
White chocolate on
chocolate.
the outside.
Oh, it's some kind of snack they have at Halloween. It's like chocolate with pretzels in it. What is that called?
chocolate covered pretzels.
No, but it's like candy, like a Reese's little pumpkin bar, but has pretzels in
Take
it.
5 or something like
Take
that.
5, I
Yeah.
think, and they only really have it on Halloween. You can't
Yeah.
really find it.
Take 5 or fast.
Honorable mention for Take 5s, but Reese's is
I don't know. If I'm taking candy from my kids' stuff, it's generally Twix and Skittles.
Twix. Yes,
Twix, I love.
refrigerated or non-refrigerated.
I mean, if it's hot,
Frozen.
gotta put them in the
Freeze it.
refrigerator. What?
Yes.
Twix, you break your teeth, you freeze
Bruh.
Twix.
What kind of enamel you get?
Oh,
Oh man.
enamel you
I drink as much coffee as you, girl.
I can't. I
enamel?
would like break. I chip I lose my whole front tooth if I do that.
It slows you down and makes you appreciate it.
Oh
Eat
no,
it a
I want
little
to
bit.
eat 20 like in a row
No,
immediately.
For her.
It's a volume
Volume.
trading with the Twix.
I eat frozen Twix too, but like you gotta make sure you get that thing to the back.
To your molars.
Yeah, to the molars.
But I think Skittles because they don't melt and like at the end of the night, like you
Yeah.
could just eat them right there.
I think
you
we know why you Skittles.
Why? Because rainbow. Yeah. True
We
that.
know why you
True,
Skittles.
true.
We know why you Skittles. What about you, Aiden?
Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, nice. But you like take them home, put leaking powder, or you just eat them like that?
Oh, just straight up.
Okay. Spoken like a 22-year-old.
Don't-
It's all about volume. It's
Don't be that house giving out candy corns.
Oh no, nobody
Yes.
wants those.
No.
Yes.
I feel like Brada Z, the sheriff, he should police that.
Yeah.
You don't be giving out candy
Yeah.
corn.
That's a
Michael, I saw your message come through. I showed it to Aiden in our system. Our system flashed on Mahe's phone, and
yes.
he'll send you that video.
We'll look for it because there's this one.
Michael Lotta?
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
this
yeah.
one association in Kalaeloa that's right next to the sewer processing plant. And I've gone there like 3 times and I haven't actually
I
shown
do
it.
not like candy corn. Handle
Mahe probably likes candy corn. I don't know why you assume that, but I appreciate you.
that.
White chocolate Reese's are my favorite.
Oh. Can you
Well,
boot people out of the chat?
I was gonna quote Theo Vaughn, but not appropriate.
Not appropriate.
Not appropriate
Not
here.
appropriate.
All right. Well, intentionally and unintentionally, we wanted to show you guys kind of our banter as a team. This is
I
what
was just
goes
thinking how
on.
derailed this got.
This is what goes on in between. We are so serious about real estate. But what makes us kind of special too is the sort of family environment and vibe of our team.
We genuinely like each other and hate each other.
Speak for yourself.
Well spoken. Put it on a shirt.
But yeah, this is some sort of the backroom banter. So I hope you enjoyed hanging out with us. Leave us your real estate comments and questions. We'll check this before we start the next one. And happy Halloween, guys.
Happy Halloween, guys.